are going to be calling the jam, and if he checks, we're going to jam ourselves. We find him with the jack 9. Wow. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Oli JT Buron, and in today's video we're back with a play and explain session. I will be playing some hands at 100 NL zoom, but without further ado, let's jump right into the action. We have an open here, blind versus blind, against likely a recreational. See a king 5 deuce. Here I was playing against a regular. I would mix some c-bets and some checks. And king 5 deuce is not a range bet spot. This time against the rec, I feel like we can go for a small sides. He calls, turn is 7 clubs. Now I think we just go for the check and try and get the showdown. Hands goes check check, river is a 5. Now we have enough showdown to go for a check. Don't think we want to value bet. There's not enough hands, I think, to value bet, so we go for the check. Maybe one big blind value bet could make sense. Okay, he's got the 3 deuce offsuit. Now here, in a limped spot, after check check on the flop, we can value bet this hand and we win. Okay, we have a open from this guy. I don't know if it's a regular, playing under big blinds. We can mix some calls, some 3 bets here. This time we go for the call. 10-8-5. We see an overbet, so I feel like this guy is a regular. And what do we want to do with the jack 9? Not a lot of raises here overall. Jack 9 could raise sometimes, most with a heart, I think. So this time let's go for the call. And now we check. Again, his check back on the deuce is pre-capped. He shouldn't have a lot of good hands, maybe some ace-8, ace-5. We can easily go for the block. B30 is good enough. We're gonna bluff some missed flush draws and stuff like that. The 9x is of course an easy value bet. Here I'm gonna defend the 7-6 suited, and here I'm gonna defend the ace-9 offsuit. Flop goes check against recreational. Now I think he has a bunch of air in this kind of spots. If I go for an overbet, I will generate a lot of fold equity, and if he calls, I will consider bluffing on the river, but I'm not sure. Depends on the run out. Here against the half pot size, it's already kind of indifferent, but I feel like we can continue. I don't know the guy if it's a regular or not. This time I went for the call. Good ace-9 against an half pot is right on the indifference. And on the queen and river, we gain so much more showdown now. I don't think we ever bluffed this hand, so I'm gonna try and get showdown. Checks back, we win. See what he had. And a missed flush draw. Okay, open here. Playing a lot of 3-max. Not a lot of players in the pool today. Okay, 9-7-3. It's a pretty decent spot for the imposition player. I want to play B70. You can play pot. B70. It's kind of close. And I feel like this hand we can bet a bunch of times. We're all pretty low, so we go for it. We have a gut shot plus the backdoor flush draw. Usually this hand suffers a lot from the check raise. Now it's kind of close. We do reverse a lot. Yeah, we're just gonna fold. I don't know if it's a fold, but I feel like it's kind of close, so I will deviate towards folding if I'm not sure. It's a gut shot, but it kind of reverses a lot. If we hit our gut shot, closes some other straights, not the greatest. It's one reason not to bet this kind of hands on the flop. King 4, it's just a fold. Start 3-betting something like king 5, king 6. Okay, now he opens 3x. Earlier he went for the 3.5, now he goes for the 3x. I will go for 7.5. Not the greatest spot, but I feel like we can go for it. Queen jack 8. You can bet your whole range here. I think against the rec here I want to basically play my hand. Jack 10 has a lot of incentives to check, not a lot to bet, so I will check back my hand. Now with a pretty wide range, the recreational player can go actually very crazy here. He goes for the little less than 50%. Do I want to raise here? Feel like we can call. It doesn't have that many flush draws in my opinion. I would rather let him bluff than deny him equity, so now we're just calling. Okay, he had a better straight for king 10. That's fine. We lose this one. Of course, we can never fold on this river. Although we went for a pot size bet, which is highly underbluffed from recreationals, we still cannot fold. Now here we have the pocket jacks. I will go for a 12 big blinds raise. I use this sizing. You can have multiple strategies. Some strategies with a 10 big blind 3-bet, especially at 100 NL. I would always advise players to go for a slightly bigger sizing, but it's close in EB to play 10 big blinds. Now I will open the ace-8 from the cutoff, and the king 7 I will call. See an 8-8-3, and this is definitely not a range bet for the out of position player, and he went for the check. Now we of course need to check a lot. I don't know if it's protected enough. Still, this hand we can check back, and we face another check. Now I will not bluff this king eye. I'll go maybe with some queen eye, jack eye as a bluff, not the king 7. Let's check back. Okay, on the queen river, now we're not in a good shape. We were already losing against ace x. Now we're losing against hands like queen jack, queen 9, stuff like that. I can go for double check. I feel like now we need to bluff though, and I will go for a pot size. I don't think we have any other sizing. Maybe you're not allowed to bluff a lot since you're blocking folding range, but I'm targeting ace x region. I will add some solver outputs. Here it's a limped spot against the recreational, against 2 recreationals actually. I feel like against enough pot sizing we are chopping a lot and maybe sometimes winning. I don't think we can fold. It's actually bigger than off pot. Okay, never expect him to raise. Don't think he has ever deuce here. Still it's underbluffed, a lot underbluffed. This guy looks pretty happy. I won't fold. I feel like he has a bluff. Okay, yeah, the trips. Don't need to be right a lot of times here. He shouldn't have a lot of deuce x. And yeah, one big blind, check check, then he raises. That's fine. You don't need to win every time. Here I will go for a 3-bet with a queen offsuit, and I will go for a 13.5. This guy is basically always dead money. If he limps 9 deuce, this time he calls. And now I really like these small sizings against recreationals here, and I tend to do this because I face a lot of raises from in position recreational players. Now on the jack, back call, if I check, I'm wondering if he bluffs enough. And in this kind of situation, I like checking more than betting with this hand specifically. And now on the river, it's basically telling me that he has some mid value. Of course, he can have some flushes, but not a lot. And I will go for something intermediate, 23 big blinds. Okay. Could have gone a little smaller maybe, but it's fine. It's kind of close. Basically, if you go smaller, then maybe he calls some pocket pairs. If you go bigger, then he probably just calls the jack X region. Probably, in any case, he will not bluff a lot. Recreational players tend to be pretty passive against river bets. Here we have an easy call. And we see a pretty interesting board. Ace King 10 two-tone. We face a 40%. Against 40%, do we ever raise this hand? Raising range should be mostly Queen Jack, so I don't think we raise a lot with this kind of hands. We have an easy check here with the 10-8 check fold. Low frequency defense. Maybe at 100 NL we can even fold preflop. Now against an OB, of course we're bluff catching, but we're always calling this hand. And river is a jack, don't think we bluff. Should not play a lot of donks here. Facing a bet, his bluffs are going to be low pocket pairs like pocket 4s, pocket 3s, stuff like that. I think I will be folding here. Now with the king queen against 8 big blinds, I will play just 4 bets or fold, and I will go for the 22.5 big blinds. This guy looks like a regular, by the way. Against such big sizings, I tend to go for bet or fold. Here with the pocket 8s, we can sometimes call with the big blind recreational. Calling is fine. Here, king 7-6, we're just going to be betting 25% with king queen, high frequency, and he just folds. Here, king queen jack, not great board for hand or for range, and we're gonna check twice. Open the ace 10. Fold here. Gonna open the 10-8. Ace 6-4. Being an ace high board with the 6 and a 4 should not be a range bet. I like to bet a little more than what a solver would do at these stakes, and I feel like 10-8 it's a good betting hand overall. Double backdoor, 2 overcards to 6 looks pretty nice as a c-bet. Gonna open the ace 5. Not a full frequency open. We have a 8-6-4. Not the greatest board for the preflop raiser. We don't have the 7-5 suited from this position. We should check a lot. Although this hand is probably one of the few hands that we want to bet. Of course, we're going to bet some pocket 9s. Of course, we're going to bet some flush draws, stuff like that. And we complete our straight on the turn. This completes also the 10-9, and we face a pretty quick check. I should probably check a lot here overall. If I bet mostly 5 or 10-9, so I feel like we should go intermediate. Maybe some sets. I will bet some sets too. Yeah, let's see what he does. Ooh. That's interesting. I don't know the player, and these raises are usually very strong. Since we have a straight, I don't think we can fold, but if on the river we see a jam, we should fold a lot. Okay, 10 on the river. This completes every 9x as a straight, and we face a check. We're chopping a lot here, so we'll just check back, of course. Queen 4. Okay, interesting bluff. I will not mark him, but this looks like a regular hand. Okay, we went for the small c-bet on the flop, and now on the turn, I feel like we should check back and try to go to showdown. We still are beating some ace-x region, king-x region. Now, with the king on the river, we don't beat anymore these kind of hands, and we face a pretty small bet. Now, what do we want to do with the pocket deuces? This feels like a jack. We can fold him out a jack and go for the 75% raise. Folds. That's nice. King Queen 5, pretty good for the preflop raiser. I don't think I will always bet. These guys are recreational, so I will take my showdown. They're pretty passive against checks, so I don't mind being capped here. But this time we face a pretty big bet. Calling once it's standard. I'm gonna go for the call. Pick up a gut shot. We make the nut straight on the river, and I will go for the off-pot bet. We can go a little bigger than that. Let's go b60. He has 2 pair. It's never gonna fold, in my opinion. He might have 9x in the tank. Eventually makes the call. Let's see what he had. He had the 9. I don't think he was contemplating about raising, right? I feel like it was between calling and folding. I don't think he will ever fold a 9. Maybe he was considering raising. I don't know. A 9 offsuit. Gonna play a bunch of calls. Ace deuce, we're gonna fold. It's a 10-9-8. Reconnected board. Don't think the overall frequency of the small blind is pretty high, but I do think they tend to be a little bit capped when checking. They usually tend to fast play a bunch of nutty hands. Let's just go b50 here. We went for the half pot, and we ace a call. Turn is the jack diamonds. Of course, not the greatest run out for our hand. As far as ranges goes, probably have more flushes. Kind of hard to tell here. This hand, I will check back. Maybe bet in some jack 10, some pocket 9s. 10-9, I feel like it's just a check. He's on the river. See what he does. Checks. Don't think we have enough value bets here. We're just gonna be betting a queen, maybe a 7, not much else. Let's go for the check. Shows up with the ace queen. It's fine. Completely fine check too, I'll say. I would have bet myself there. I think they over check back in this kind of lines in position. I'm be blind here. Gonna go for the call with the queen 4. I'm gonna open the queen 9 here from the hijack. We have a monotone spot. Usually you should not be betting a lot on monotone boards. Ace 10-8 is kind of favorable for the other position player. Queen 4 definitely a fold here. Not much to say. And for the aggressive open with the king 3 from the cutoff, and the recreational player calls. Now we have check 6-5 if this hand wants to always bet. Oh, for a small bet, I can actually go for a bigger bet too against the recreational. Already putting in a tough spot. All the ace-x that he flats and probably generate an overfold against that sizing. Here the ace 3 I will not 3-bet. Okay, we went for a raise with the ace king, and we face small 3-bet. This hand is a mix, and first number that we rolled was an 87, so we'll just go for the call. We have a 3-3 deuce. Decent board overall for the out of position player. It's got all the overpairs. Of course, when you do have a lot of Broadway region, this board you miss a lot, so you don't want to bet your whole range, but 3-3 deuce is kind of fine to bet at a decent frequency, I'll say. And now with the ace king, we have an easy decision to continue. We hit our top pair on the turn. Now what do we do here with the 9-7? Kind of indifferent. Against the pot size bet, I will fold against the recreational. And now facing a pretty big bet. Don't think we have any incentives to jam. We have the ace king with the ace of spades. Of course, we're gonna continue. Reverse the jack, and of course we are going to be calling the jam, and if he checks, we're gonna jam ourselves. We find him with the jack 9. Wow, pretty interesting end, this one. He went for the flop bet. If you do 3-bet this hand, of course it's a low frequency 3-bet pre-flop. I feel like it's a decent flop bet on the flop, and on the turn it's a decent barrel. On the king you should barrel a lot, even though you have the jack of hearts, which is not great. Block some folds like a ace jack, block some kings too like king jack. I feel like it's fine, man. On the river though, it's kind of thin. It's basically saying you need to call pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s at some frequency, and I have a pretty high EV with my range overall, so I can go aim for value with the jack X region. I feel like it's thin but it's fine. I will not consider this hand a blunder. I will check with solver. Actually, I don't know theory pretty well on this run out on the river. I admit my ignorance about it. And we managed to win a stack, so we're pretty happy about it. Just a quick break, guys. If you're enjoying the content so far, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm a small creator, so it will really help me out. Now back to the video. Here we open the ace king suited, facing a pretty small bet from the recreational. We're gonna always continue. Turn the ace. Could have considered donking there, but now that he checked back very fast, I know that he probably doesn't have a better hand ever. So we have a easy decision, and I feel like we should go pretty big here. Let's just go pot, and it's down folds. Okay, king jack, gonna go high frequency 3-bet, no pure, and the queen jack we're gonna defend here, up second pair. Here we play a 3-bet pot out of position. 9-8-6, very connected. Here I will play intermediate or check. Here I will check all the queen jack, and playing intermediate or check this hand, I don't think we should bet a lot, so we're gonna be checking. We have 10x to bluff. Some jack x are fine too, but I feel like you want to have at least a backdoor. Maybe is in there, this kind of hand. And I guess such a small bet, we still need to fold. It's kind of bad, but I feel like we need to fold. 93 rolled, so let's go for the passive line. Here I guess the second barrel is close, but I feel like it's a continue. On the river, check, folding most of the times. Gonna defend some ace queen, gonna defend maybe some low queen x. I don't love having the jack, even though we have the jack of clubs, but facing a 2x spot from this player is pretty passive overall. Rolled pretty high. We have a bluff catcher. Let's just go for the fold. No overthink it. Jack 6, I don't know if it's 35, maybe a little less than 35 as 3-bet. So let's just go for the call. And king on the turn, we need to check a lot. Jack 6 is definitely a checking hand here. King is good for the imposition range. Of course, it's gonna have a lot of king x, and once it checks back, it's deviating towards king queen, ace king, ace jack, stuff like that. Now he wants to go for the b70, which I think is a bit bigger than what I'd expect the solver to do. I expect the solver to go something like b40. Can be fine to bet a little bit bigger. We're indifferent here, and I'm gonna fold this time. By the way, when I say indifferent, it means that basically there's not EV difference between a line and the other line. In practice, this doesn't happen a lot. It's in theory. The other hand, it's indifferent. In practice, probably there's always a better line than the other, but it's hard to tell sometimes. So it's fine to mix. You don't want to be too face up, so you need to be mixing, especially when you go and play at higher stakes. You should start mixing. Maybe NL25, NL10, you can get away without mixing. Probably NL50 or higher, you should start playing some mixed strategies. Here, with the queen 10 against the limp, I'm gonna always check and check on the ace jack 9. Let's see. It goes for the check back. I don't see a lot of ace x. I feel like an ace x would have mostly bet on the flop. So I'll go for the thin value here. Even king queen, I see him betting a lot. Okay, he calls, rivers a 10. I don't think he ever bluffs if I check. So I will go for one big blind and try to extract some value against this low ace x if he ever has it. And raises. Don't think we can ever call here. Although he could have some random jack x, 9x. Kind of close. Let's just fold sometimes. Go with your intuition too sometimes. I really don't know what to do there against raise, but I felt like it was value heavy against the wreck. Here I went for the passive line, check, 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 check. Now on the river, I could check my hand, but I feel like he doesn't have a paired end a lot of times. So I will go for a 1.5 big blind, and okay, this time he called with the ace x. Now I 3-bet the king jack, some frequency, around 70% of frequency, 70-75%, and the pocket sevens, it's a check. Do we want to donk ever this hand? Let's just check it. Okay, and we face a pretty big bet. Definitely not folding. Raising is not an option, I feel like, with this hand. Call, and we turn the set. Now I want to donk bet my hand. I want to donk small, because if he has an overpair, I think it will raise, but it will overcall a bunch of nonsense. And now on the river, I will not check this hand. I will go for an overbet, pretty big overbet. Let's just go to X spot. It's not folds. Okay, I donk there because I think he will check back a lot on this kind of runouts. If he has a hand like pocket 10s, pocket queens, pocket aces, he might over check back, while if I do donk, he might raise. So if I donk small. If I donk big, these hands, they just call. Open the pocket aces. Here, bad stuff. Face a 3-bet by a regular, and this regular is 3-betting a bunch. So this hand is a mix between calling and 4-betting and folding already maybe. This time let's just go for the call, even though I tend to under defend this kind of stuff. Here pocket aces 1-bet. Against the check 9-5-5, it's gonna have a bunch of give ups. The clubs hand, I don't really want to bet a lot because he check folds a bunch of clubs. So let's go for the check back. Okay, now we face another check. I will be bluffing here on the turn. Double check line are kind of under defended. Maybe we can get him to fold some low ace X suited, stuff like that. He calls. River is a 6. Of course, it's some of our bluffs. And now I don't think he will ever call the ace king region. I think if he has a 9x, he might overfold. So I will go for the jam. I don't think it's pure, this stuff, but I feel like it's fine. Let's just go for it. Here I'm gonna bet off pot. Hopefully he folds. Nice. Now, we don't have a lot of offsuit hands to bluff there with a heart, so it's fine to go for the king jack. Here we go with the second barrel. Pretty good hand, 2 overcard to the 10 and the flush draw. 5-3, bottom of the opening range from the small blind. I think it's already a mixed strategy. Here I'm gonna 3-bet. This guy's probably a recreational when he opens 3x. He was not playing full stack. Okay, pocket kings, we're playing a little deeper than 150. We're 180 deep. I'll go for an 8 big blinds 3-bet, lowering the EV of the pocket pair region. When you're deep stacked, EV of the pocket pairs, it's a little bit bigger. If you go for small sides, by 3-betting a bigger sizing, you lower the EV of these hands. Ace jack, pure 3-bet, cut off against the button. Go for a 7.5 and go 8 big blinds. If you go 8 big blinds, usually you reduce the calling range. King 8 deuce, very good board for the imposition player. Just gonna go for a b25 for my own range. I'm gonna range bet the king 8. It's one of the paired board that favors the cutoff. Of course, I mean 2 kings on the flop. Big blind misses this board a lot. If it was something like king 7-7, king 6-6, it would be different. Blind v blind, of course, when we're deep stacked, the offsuit combos lower their frequency of 3-bets, but I rolled pretty low. First number was something like 14, so I will go for a 3-bet. Let's just go 12 big blinds. Of course, we're gonna play a slightly bigger sizing when deep stacked. Maybe it's a pure call. I don't know. I like to be very aggressive when deep stacked, especially at these stakes. Gonna open the king jack suited. Okay, blind v blind. Here we're gonna continue with the king jack suited and make a top pair, a good top pair. And we face an off pot bet. I don't know if this is only sizing. This hand should be a mix between calling and raising. First number I rolled was a high number, so I'll just go for the call. Run out a king, and he quickly checks back. I think we have some b70, some jams, maybe some blocks too. I'll just go for the jam here. I feel like I'm getting called a lot. Too much, actually, not a lot, but too much. I'm gonna bluff some ace X region. Maybe it was a bit of a mistake. You need to maybe pot or b70 as your only sizing. But this guy looks a bit sticky. He might overcall, and if he has a hand like 9x or an under pair, he might be overcalling. That's my read on the player. That's why I went for the jam, even though I do know that is probably not the GTO thing to do there. Gonna 3-bet the queen jack suited against the regular. And we have an ace triplet board. Not very frequent to see a triplet. Of course, he favors the preflop raiser a lot here, so we'll just go for probably a range bet here. B9, it's a pure fold against the cutoff, and we see a call. For now, it's the king, not the greatest for our hand. Although it's pretty good for range. We do have a bunch of king X and Broadway stuff. If we bet, does he continue with pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 6s? This hand is just a check back, right? I do know overall frequency should be decently high. But this hand just feels like a check. Here we're gonna call 4-bet. Just go for very small sides here. And I'm gonna check back for showdown. We win. Nice. We play a call 4-bet spot. Of course, double Broadway should be in favor of the big blinds range. You might have some hands like pocket 9s, pocket 8s. We should not have those. we mostly have broadways. We'll just go for a b25 for our whole range. Maybe you can play even some bigger sizings here. We'll just simplify and just go for a range bet. You have all the pocket kings, all the pocket aces. We have the ace queen suited. Overall, a good board for us. We open the 5-4 suited and we open the king 10 suited. Facing a 3-bet against 9, it's kind of close. I will fold because I really don't remember the frequency. I feel like it's against 10 is very low frequency. Against 9, maybe it's a little more, but at 100 NL, break is pretty high. You don't want to play a lot of post-flop spots. Out of position, of course. And open the pocket queens. Here I will fold the 9-8 offsuit. Facing a 3-bet, gonna mix some 4-bets and jams. This hand I feel like it's just a 4-bet, no jams. Let's just go 26 big blinds, and we're gonna call against the jam, of course. Long tank, and then a call. King 6-4. Gonna go for a b25 for our whole range. We have the advantage on the king X region, so gonna leverage that with a b25, and he snap folds. Okay, let's end the session with this pocket jacks and pocket deuces. Gonna open the jacks, gonna fold pocket deuces, and that's it for today's session. Let's take a look at our results for today. Pretty nice session today. This is the graph for today. Managed to win 192 euros, both in EB and net one. So we managed to win basically 2 stacks. So pretty nice session, and let's end it right here. Okay guys, that was it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.